Good evening. I'm Gracie and this is Emila McGill. We're Level 1 members of the Osceola FCCLA chapter. Our star event this year is Food Innovations. We did this project because we both love the creativity that comes with cooking and baking.
The topic this year for Level 1 was cookie bars. At first, we had no idea what cookie bars were, but with the help of our advisor, Miss Ganaway, we figured it out and found a recipe that would fulfill the requirements.
The challenge of our project this year was to find a vintage mix and turn it into a modern treat that people of all ages would enjoy. We found the original recipe in an old vintage cookbook that our advisor suggested to use. The original recipe we found was pumpkin bars, which is a popular food item in fall because of the festive pumpkin flavor.
But we wanted to create something that would satisfy consumers' needs all year round, no matter what the season is. With that in mind, we changed the main ingredient of pumpkin and substituted it with pureed carrots.
We came up with this idea because we noticed that carrots have a similar taste to pumpkin, and research says that carrots are rich in vitamins, minerals, and fibers. They also have many benefits such as reducing the risk of cancer, lowering cholesterol levels, and helping improve eyesight.
Talking amongst ourselves, we decided how much of each ingredient we needed. We also talked to our advisor to see what goes well with carrots. She suggested maple. With that in mind, we decided to figure out how to incorporate that into our recipe.
On January 24th, we made our first batch of carrot bars. We started off by making the carrot puree. We added the carrot puree by chopping carrots and adding cooking oil so they don't dry out. After chopping the carrots, we placed them on a baking sheet with wax paper and then placed them in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit until it became soft. This made it easier to puree and also give them a sweeter flavor.
While the carrots were baking, we started making the batter. We started by adding the dry ingredients: flour, sugar, baking powder, ground cinnamon, baking soda, salt, and ground cloves together. Then proceeding by adding the liquid ingredients, eggs, and cooking oil. Once mixed together, we waited till the carrots were done baking and then mashed them into the puree. Then added to the batter.
We placed a sheet of wax paper on a 13 by 9 by 1 inch baking sheet. Then we poured the batter onto the baking sheet and placed it in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes. While the carrot bars were baking, we made the cream cheese frosting. The frosting is where we incorporated the maple extract flavoring. We made the decision because it would be simple to replace the vanilla extract that was already in the recipe.
Once the carrot bars were fully cooked, we took them out of the oven so they were able to cool before we placed the frosting on them. While it was cooling, we roasted the chopped pecans at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 6 minutes. We needed the pecans for more texture to the carrot bars.
The next day, we had 9th graders, 2nd graders, and a couple extra students try our carrot bars and complete a survey. We made a survey that asked 4 different things: taste, texture, appearance, and marketability. We asked them to rate it from 1 to 5, 1 being the worst and 5 being the best. The outcome of the bars were on the edge of perfection, but we were still not satisfied. Our best review was 4 on taste and texture, appearance, and marketability. The surveys gave us very good and helpful feedback to use in our next revision. This batch, the worst review was 3 on taste and texture and 4 on appearance and marketability.
We weren't happy with the texture, and not many others were. We got feedback from some of the testers, and after talking, we found out that they didn't like how crunchy the carrots were. We walked a little longer and had one more complaint from one of the extra students. She said that the bars were a little denser like bread, and she wanted it to be more of a cake density. She also commented on how she wanted more pecans.
On January 28th, we made our final batch. Incorporating the students' opinions, we worked on fixing the issues from the first revision, which meant changes to the density of the bars and the crunchy carrots. We fixed this problem by using a 1/4 cup less flour and baking the carrots longer. We also wanted to satisfy the rest of the consumers, so we added more frosting and more pecans.
When we made the second revision, we used the same precautions and steps as the first. The only thing we did differently was the amount of time we cooked the carrots and the amount of flour, frosting, and pecans we used. We multiplied the frosting recipe by 1.5 because we didn't have a thick enough layer, and we used 6 ounces of chopped pecans instead of 4 ounces.
When testing the revised product, we used the same group of students, but we added teachers' opinions as well. The surveys were the same as well, because we wanted the taste of the last batch to be in their minds. We also wanted to see the difference they encountered. The surveys came back almost perfect. The best review was 5 out of 5 on taste, texture, appearance, and marketability, and the worst was 3 on taste and 4 on texture, appearance, and marketability.
Our inspiration for the packaging of our captivating Carrot Bars was to base it off a cake box and the inside packaging. We chose this idea because we think that it would be a good way to not only sell it, but also make it appealing to the eye. Inside our packaging, we would have the dry ingredients of the batter, frosting not included, and on the outside of the packaging, the baking instructions, net weight, and nutrition facts label will be shown.
We think people would want to buy this project because it would be a nice dessert for family parties and to enjoy with friends.
Gracie and I are very happy with the results. We hope to do this project in the future. We also hope that we have encouraged people of all ages to eat new and exciting foods.
Question answers.
One skill that we have learned or improved on while doing our project is agreeing with each other's ideas. We've had the same ideas throughout most of the project, but we had a couple complications along the way.
One obstacle that caused challenges was difficulty in finding times for us to work together on the project. This was because me and Amelia had very busy schedules that gave us very little time to do anything extra, and not only that, but our schedules always seemed to overlap each other when either one of us had extra time to work on the project.
Gracie and I appreciate you taking the time to learn about our captivating Carrot Bars.